ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו. I think we all have heard this. If not, I'll repeat it for you. It is said that Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, who was a great rabbi, a mystic, tremendous man, very spiritual man, he once said the following: when I was young, I set out to change the world. But that was very difficult to do. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to change my country. But he realized that that is also very difficult to do. I'm going to change society. I'm going to change my community. It was very difficult to do. Finally, he decided, you know what? I really have to change myself. This is my purpose in life, to change myself, and thereby I will contribute to a better community, to a better nation, to a better world. You have to think of yourself. I think it makes sense, no? That you have to start with yourself. Then there was a very famous Rosh Yeshiva in Israel, whose name was Amital. He sarcastically said the following: when I was young, I tried to change myself. Since that was very difficult, I tried to change society. Since that was even more difficult, I tried to change the world. And of course, I couldn't do it. What was he teaching us, this Rabbi Amital, with his sarcastic, ironic twist that he gave to the words of Rabbi Salanter? He was trying to tell us something, that many people, minorities, nations, instead of looking into themselves, they blame the world. Give me, you owe me. Society is the one that I want to change. You're all wrong. The way you define sex, the way you define family, that's all wrong. Instead of thinking, how do I change myself? They want to change society because they feel they don't have the right place in society. This is what happens, for instance, in Venezuela. The fault is of the United States, of the world around it, that doesn't permit it to develop properly. Instead of thinking maybe the system that you have within your country is the one that is really strangulating you, doesn't permit you to grow. Many minorities always want the government, society to do something for them. Why don't you start with yourself? Well, I do think that society bears responsibility. The world bears responsibility. I think it is actually an interplay between two things. I think both are right. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter and Rabbi Amital. We have to change the world, but we also have to change ourselves. It isn't sufficient to change yourself if the world doesn't change, and it isn't sufficient if the world changes if you don't change yourself. So therefore I say the following to those minorities that are not satisfied with the environment, with the world in which we live. Do your best to influence society for a change, but don't forget that you have to start with yourself. Don't forget that the greatest ills really emanate from yourself. Maybe think about that also. I think that if you work in both fronts, in both directions, we will certainly achieve a better society that is more just, that is more equal, that is more hospitable for everybody in this world.